Welcome to Read and React on the Grow with Kezio channel. Like and subscribe so we can build a fortune instead of begging for one. Lego. Alright, so I saw this article on Bing and I wanted to read it because it makes so much sense. And a lot of people don't know this. But yeah, according to Grant Cardone, the worst investment people can make, real estate guru Grant Cardone says too many Americans are chasing after the dream of home ownership, especially in these high interest rate environments. I don't know why people are buying homes at 5, 6, 7% interest rates. That's crazy. When the market drops, they're going to be underwater. But yeah, here's what he thinks you should do instead. He's talking to millennials. That's us. He's talking to Gen Z also. They on the come up. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, so homeownership has long been a cornerstone of the American dream. It symbolizes independence, financial security, and prosperity. But is it a dream worth chasing? Let's find out. All right, so not if you ask real estate investment guru Grant Cardone. He's all over YouTube. In case you don't know who Grant Cardone is, he gives a lot of advice, and he made his money in sales basically. So he's a real good salesman, but he owns real estate and a bunch of car dealerships. All right, so quote: buying a home without a doubt is the worst investment people can make, yet it's also the most common one. Quote unquote. He wrote in a recent Instagram post. All right, so in a video attached to the Instagram post, he gave an example of spending $576,000 on a home that you keep for 10 years. On top of that huge total, Cardone said you'd also have to pay the following fees over a decade. Here we go: 12% or $69,120 in broker fees. I guess this is before the new rule that got rid of the 6.5% broker fee. Next, 10% or $56,600 in maintenance fees. All right. Next, 20% or $115,200 in property taxes. And finally, 70% or $403,200 to the bank. So this last number can be confusing, but what he's talking about is the price that the bank charges you to finance the original $576,000 for the house. So you don't have all the money up front. The bank asks you to drop 10% or 20% down, or if it's a FHA, 3.5% of this number down, right? And then they'll come up with the rest, and then you pay them back. But then they'll charge you interest on the amount that they give you to make up the total 576. So he's saying that money will come up to the amount you end up paying them over 10 years will come up to $403,000. That looks like more like the number over 30 years, not 10 years. But this is his example, not mine. So those amounts add up to $645,120, and when added to the original price of the home, $576,000, would bring the total to a staggering $1.2 million. Yeah, that's crazy. So a $576,000 home will have to be sold for $1.2 million in 10 years. Cardone said, you're not going to sell it for that. To break even? That's just to break even. That's crazy. All right, so he described the exercise as quote unquote dead money, a term for an investment that has shown little increase in value or is locked up for a long time with little yield. Yield is just the profit. All right, so What Cardone thinks you should do instead. Cardone advocates for residential real estate. I think they mean commercial real estate because he clearly doesn't advocate for residential real estate. He just told people it's the worst idea ever. So I think that was a typo, which appears to have remained strong through the or he means multi-unit. They probably meant multi-unit residential, like apartments, basically. Um, because that is the only residential uh, real estate like category or sector that has remained strong. Um, well, actually, home ownership, individual home ownership, has remained strong in certain states like California and New York. I don't know. I don't know what they meant, but yeah, through the economic turmoil of recent years, while other parts of the commercial real estate sector see other parts of the commercial real estate. So I think this definitely was not supposed to be residential. While other parts of the commercial real estate sector, like offices, hotels, and retail, have struggled. Generating, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So if you're keen on getting into the real estate game, consider crowdfunding platforms, a process championed by Cardone that allow everyday investors to pool their money to purchase property, or a share of property as a group. All right, so then this is just an ad for Arrived, platform that does what he just suggested. And then it says you can also invest in a residential real estate investment trust, a REIT is what we call it. And they're publicly traded companies that collect rent from tenants and pass that rent to shareholders in the form of dividend payments. Yeah. Basically buying, individual real estate. Right? Is what he's basically talking about. He's saying that it's a bad investment, especially in these high interest rate times that we're living in. So don't do it. Home ownership has always lagged behind renting, or home ownership has always supposed to been cheaper than renting on a month-to-month basis. And for like the first time in American history, home ownership or like monthly mortgages are actually more expensive than monthly rent. So this is not the time to be buying a residential family home. It just doesn't make sense unless you're getting foreclosure, or tax lien, something like that. But the traditional way, and it's from a traditional bank, nah. Especially from a proprietary lender, which would be like a union, a credit union, or regional banks. They're right now they're on the ropes. We don't know if they'll be around 5 years from now, because they held the debt. They didn't sell it. The commercial banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, they'll bundle your debt up with a bunch of other people's debt and then sell it as like a company, or sell it like a asset to someone else. They get the debt in and they get it the hell out of here. But yeah, I digress, So yeah, check out my next episode of Read and React. Just want to let y'all see what the billionaires think about home ownership, and do some research and before you start making these decisions, and maybe it'll save you some money or make you a bunch of money. Like and subscribe to my channel, then click the bell for notifications if you want more Grow with Kezio content to live the big billionaire dream. This is where we talk money and business to grow our net worth together. All right, I'm out. Peace.